Hi, Professor. My name is Lisa Graff, and I will be presenting today's case study with a postpartum woman 5 months after having her daughter. My partner, Kristen Fernandez, will be the patient. Today, I'm going to be focusing on solution-focused brief therapy. Hi, Mindy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi,
How are you? How are you feeling today?
I'm doing okay. I've been struggling, but I'm doing all right today.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you for coming and reassure you that it took a lot of strength and courage just to see me today. That's the first step is asking for help. So I want to give you a compliment and say that you are heading in the right direction, and that just showing up today is a big step.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't, like I said, I'm struggling. It's a little better, but I did find it hard to come here.
Okay. Um, I just want you to know that today I intend to take notes through our session just to keep us on a certain path. And at the end of the session, we're going to regroup, and I'm hoping to provide a little bit of feedback with you, a little bit of direction to prepare us for the next session, but you are going to lead this session. I want to hear how you're feeling in your own words, and I will help you sort of formulate a plan that works best for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So before we get started, before I have you sort of tell me what's going on with you, can you rate your anxiety and your depression on a scale of 0 to 10 for me today?
Today I would say my depression, I would say maybe a 7, 8 is my depression today. It usually is a 10, I would say. But I was able to get here. So usually when I'm very depressed, I don't leave the house. Anxiety, I would say, is a 10, and anxiety is always a 10.
All right. All right. So I know you're a newish mom and new with your daughter. Can you tell me what's been going on the last few months? I want to know like how you've been eating, you've been sleeping, your mood, things like that. And I'm only going to interject if I need to know a little bit more, but I want to hear in your own words what's going on.
Okay. I had my daughter about 5 months ago. I was actually really excited during the pregnancy. I have two sons. During the pregnancy, I had no issues. There was the pregnancy, the labor, everything went great. However, ever since I've had my baby, I have felt overwhelmed. I have been saddened. I don't eat as much, which is at first I played into, I'm having a child. And when you first have a child, you just don't have the time and you need to remember. I am breastfeeding, and I feel good when I'm breastfeeding. However, I'm not sleeping at night. I have these thoughts of dropping the baby in the tub, dropping. I have these images of her falling. um I would never hurt her. I don't want to hurt her, but I just have this overwhelming feeling of it occurring, where to the point where when someone wants to hold her, the images of her falling during transfer are, I want to say, embedded in my head. I can't get these images out. I have a really hard time taking care of myself. Like I said in the beginning, I felt like I was just incorporating being a new mom again, and the trying to get your timing right and having everything occur. But I have great difficulties getting up in the morning and getting ready for the day.
Okay. About how much sleep would you say you're getting on the average night?
Once the baby wakes up, I'm up. I can't fall back to sleep. So I would say maybe 3, maybe 4 hours a night.
Okay. Do you find yourself having trouble caring for your other children?
No, I don't. I never had this feeling before. I never had with them, again, the pregnancies were easy. I had no issues. Transitioning at home felt good. It was like everything was right. And I don't know if maybe because she's a girl, I'm not sure. It's everything is different now.
Okay. So right now you feel your boys are getting what they need, their
Yes.
food, their hygiene. That's
Yes, very easy. I don't feel I've already been in their routine for a long time, so I'm not having any issues with caring for them. And they're a little bit older, a little more self-sufficient. So I'm able to pretty much just make sure they're okay and make sure they have everything that they need and they pretty much go on their day.
okay. How old are they?
My eldest son is 8 and my younger son is 6.
Okay. All right. How's your relationship with your husband?
It's been it's been hard. He really wants things to get back to the way they used to be, and I really don't know how to get there. And I don't even know how it's supposed to be because obviously we can't go back to the way we used to be because we have a new baby in the house. So it's not going to be the same.
Okay. Do you feel he is supportive and is he helpful with the kids?
I would say with the boys, yeah. I would say with the boys, he works. So I'm the one that's primarily home. I will be home. I was working before,
Mhm.
and now I have decided to stay home with this one as it's hard to juggle work and daycare, and our family has their own jobs, so it's not like we can rely on someone else like that.
Right. You said that your husband is definitely helpful with the boys. Have you ever asked him for help with your daughter? Now I know you're breastfeeding, so obviously there's some limitation there, but are you confident to ask him for help?
I think I just don't actually, because like with the breastfeeding, it's I'm the one that has to feed her. Since he works, I'm the one that has to get up in the middle of the night. I try not to put when he comes home from work, he plays with the boys, he helps them get ready for bed. He is supportive in that nature, but I feel that things between me and him are not as good
Okay.
because I'm very stressed over the baby.
Does he ever make you feel guilty or like
When
you're
he
not living
says,
up?
when he
Like you're not.
says, yeah, when he says that he wishes things could be back to the way they used to be, I feel like I feel guilty that it's me because I haven't really discussed too much about him with these images and what I've been feeling. I mean, he knows what I've been like, but I haven't discussed fully how I feel.
Okay. How are your relationships? Do you have social relationships with friends or other family members?
Mm, I mean, I'm close to my family, but I'm not, I don't see them every day or or not even every week. Everyone's busy. I do talk to my grandmother, and my aunts, my older ones. And they're good support, but I don't discuss this really with anyone.
Okay. Have you noticed that, and has there ever been a time recently where you felt better than the day before? Can you think of a day that you felt was particularly good?
When she first came home, maybe when in the beginning, maybe the first and the initial when she came home, I would say I felt good. That whole week I would say I felt good. It was exciting. We have tried for a girl. We have finally got the girl, and I felt our family is complete, and now I don't know how I feel.
Okay. Thinking back to when you had your son, your first son,
Mhm.
At that time, you described that you felt like everything was a little smoother and you felt a little more at peace. What did you do at that time? Because having a baby is stressful, right? So what did you do at that time? Do you recall things that you did at that time to cope with the stress or to, keep on task? Do you recall things like that?
I felt that was an easier time. Maybe it was only one baby. We weren't on number three. It was only one responsibility. Sharing the responsibility was easier at that time. Um, I don't think I've done anything different. I mean, my other two children slept more through the night. My other two, I feel were less needy. Or maybe I just didn't feel that they were very needy because I wasn't as stressed out, maybe. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. But I just feel like everything then just transitioned a lot easier. That's how I
Okay.
feel. Like it was less stress then. So I feel like I was able to handle it.
So
I was
did you also breastfeed your sons as well?
Yes, I
Okay.
breastfed all three.
All right. If you could picture your life with your problem solved, how would it look? How would you describe it if everything was as you want it to be?
I would feel full. I would feel right. I don't feel right now. I would feel less stressed. I would feel more put together. I would not have these images that keep on popping into my head. I don't know if that's fear. I don't know if I'm not sure what those are. Like I said, I would never hurt her. I love her very much. Um, it would just be more smooth. If I could have it, it would be more smooth. I would feel. I guess I don't feel as supported with her as I did with the other two. So more supported.
Did you feel when you had your first son that you were more willing to ask for help?
I didn't feel like I had to actually. I felt like he was there more. He was like available. He was more available at that time.
Okay. So if there's a sense that your husband was more available then, and you felt more joy and happiness, and you felt, like you had a handle on the situation, um, maybe that's the strength in this situation is to ask your husband for help. Get him more involved somehow, even though he is working, and I understand that completely. But perhaps he's not fully aware of how much you're struggling, and he may be willing to help you if you voice a need for a little bit of help.
Mhm.
And maybe more attention being towards the infant, your newborn, as opposed to your older sons. Maybe you switch
Mhm.
roles for a night just to see how that feels. Are you able to pump?
Unfortunately, I can't pump, but I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I do love breastfeeding her. I feel everything. I feel connected at that point, and I feel good. But I
Mhm.
wouldn't. I think that would be nice. I think that would be. It would be good for them, for my husband and my daughter, and it would also be good for me because I
Mhm.
also have like this sense of guilt that I'm always with her as well when I was always with the boys.
Okay. So if a miracle happened today and the problems you're describing are solved overnight, what does your day look like? Perfect day.
My perfect day. My perfect day, she would sleep in. My perfect day, my daughter would sleep in. I would be able to have a little bit of time with my two boys, getting their breakfast done as they got dressed. And then as they were eating, my daughter would wake and I would breastfeed her, and my husband would go to work. The children would go to school. Um, and these images would go away. And then I really do like the idea of switching around where he spent more time with her, which would give me a break, not necessarily of being a mother, but give me a break from her and give me more time with the boys.
All right.
And I would like the kids all to go to sleep early so I could have some time with my husband as well. Because I do miss our time.
Okay. Let's see. What do you consider your strengths as a
I
wife,
feel
as
that
a mother?
I feel I am a good wife and a mother. And I think when he brings that up where he wishes things could be the way they used to be, it knocks me down from those feelings where I thought I was a good wife and I thought I was a good mother, and it makes me second guess myself. But I would say that my strengths are as being a mother. I very much enjoy being a mother.
All right. So after kind of reflecting on what you've told me, I think we have some like, small little changes or small little goals that we can set in preparation for the next session. Okay. So you told me currently you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you're not sleeping well. It sounds like there's a little bit of a disconnect between you and your husband. He's not aware of how much you're feeling, like how much you need from him. And I think a goal for next week, one little thing could be bedtime, right? Your husband, you feed the newborn, but then maybe he rocks her to sleep and you put your boys to sleep. So just that small little rule change might help to sort of change the dynamic and get you in a different place where you're more trusting of him to care for your daughter. And then that sort of brings you together. Do you think that's something that you may be able to do for the next session?
I do. And my husband, he's voiced that I believe he would be an active part, and he would help me facilitate this. I do.
Good. All right. Well, I want to tell you again how proud I am that you came today. And I just want to tell you how brave you are. It's not easy to admit when we're moms that we're struggling, and that we want people to believe that we can do it all, right? And that we're never going to falter. Like, we almost feel as though we can't make a mistake, but we're human. You're a mom, you're a good mom, you're a good wife. And the things you're describing to me are things that with, some tweaks and, the way we're framing the situation and with active partnership with your husband, I believe you'll get to be feeling a lot better. We can get you to that picture that you envision in your mind. So we're going to meet one week from today. We'll meet and we'll regroup and we'll discuss how that one change went, how it was implemented, and how you feel that it went. And then and I also want you to prioritize, and I know this will be difficult, but I think it's important, sharing with your husband the things that you shared with me today. If he, it sounds like you do have a strong marriage, and it does sound like he wants things to be better. So if he's aware sort of where you are and of this, change at bedtime, it's just the starting point to creating, that picture that you see in your mind. All right. After sharing with me today, can you just tell me where your anxiety and your depression are now? Do you feel better by talking about it with me?
I do feel better. I had a lot of anxiety coming here today, and I do feel better, and I do feel this is the right step. So even though I'm always high anxiety, but I would say I dropped down to about a 7, 8, and just your reassurance of highlighting what I would see as a better picture for myself and a small step. I think my depression is still a 7, but it's usually a 10. So this felt right. This felt good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Are there any questions you have for me? Anything you need from me?
Do you think I should disclose that I'm having these images to my husband?
I think it's okay to do that. You've indicated to me that you have no intent to harm your daughter. I think a lot of what the images that you're having relate to your underlying anxiety. I think the more honest and open you are with your husband, the the more active I think a participant he'll be as you move forward. But what you disclose to him is truly up to you. But I think that you should tell him that you've been feeling overwhelmed. Um, I think that that's a starting off point. Asking for help, there's never any harm in that, and you shouldn't feel guilty about that. But I know with you feeling like you got to do it all and wanting to be that perfect mom, it's natural to sort of feel that guilt of feel, oh, why do I have to ask for help? But just know that that is, not an uncommon feeling, and that, if your husband wants things to change, he'll be receptive to it. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I was
So
curious about that part.
yeah, I mean, you can. I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't tell him, but I think if you did, but you explained to him that you had no, have no thoughts of harming her, but you're having a hard time letting go and trusting others, he'll help you. Maybe you hold her together with him. Maybe there's a transition that happens where you let go. You see what I'm saying? But this is why it's going to it's going to happen over a period of time. I want to see how you handle this step. And in the next session, we'll evaluate how that went. And this will happen over probably 5 or 6 sessions. We're going to focus on trying to get your anxiety under control and getting you to a point where you feel like you're most functional. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I will see you in 1 week. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.